Rattlesnake was a vain and ugly creature. He crawled in dark places and avoided the other desert animals. He was lonely but refused to act like it. One day, while sitting under a rock and wishing to be happy, he saw a desert runner sprinting past. "Wait," it called to the bird. "I have a favor to ask of you."
Well, well, well. Never seen your face before. Can't say I like it. Listen up, Dogface. There are 2 rules in Bone Town. Number 1, Mayor Eswin's law is absolute. Number 2, if you don't like rule number 1, then you'd better get your ass out of town. Now go meet the mayor yourself. He likes to know what the kobolds kick in from the wastes, especially with the families running wild. Listen to that. You're fitting in pretty well already. I'll see you around Whitestone, Dogface. He's not from around here. A city boy born and raised in Myria. Came to seek fortune, but landed in Apatia right when Motis Mining caught their losses. You'd think he'd wither in this desert, but it was his idea to bring in the mercenaries. With Mayor Eswin in Whitestone, we have a fighting chance. People call it Bone Town because of the pale rocks jutting up from the sand. And because of the death rate. Miners. And they used to make a good living too, back when Motis Mining had its teeth in Apatia. But when Motis pulled out, the money dried up. Now most of them are criminals. A nasty lot. The Zungars are the worst. But the Darkvari and the Cynrics know Liana's dance as well. There's plenty of them. Just ask Hera, or walk a few paces out of Whitestone in any direction. Sometimes they even come into town. A few weeks ago, I caught a bandit trying to slip into the mayor's window. Fool. He's been locked up in a cage ever since. As an example. Simpesta Liana was first sworn. They called her the Desert Runner, and you do well to learn her ways out here. He's a dangerous man, and they'll stop at nothing to bring ruin to Whitestone. Luckily, the mayor knows how to deal with crooks like Scoria.
Stay out of trouble. Mayor Eswin isn't paying me enough for this.
No time for conversation. I'm on the job. Nothing to tell, really. My wife and I lived in Rathir until we had to take work elsewhere. She in the army and me with this rough outfit. I hate being apart. Same as any place else, in my opinion. I just stick to the job. Guard, train, and rough up anyone who gets in the way of the mayor's plans. What's there to say? It's an unfortunate affair. I don't foresee anyone coming out the better for it. I only hope that many return from the front lines unharmed.
Keep your eyes open. What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Stand right there. Let me take a look at you. Filthy, weary, lonely, but special, that's for certain. We don't see folks like you in Whitestone very often. I'm Mayor Eswin Elfhelm, and I'm the closest thing to a friend you've got around here. Some call it war. I call it survival. The Motor's mining interest left an empty throne when it abandoned Apotir. And now everyone wants that power. The people here, the decent, honest, hard-working people of Apotir, have been through enough. Starvation, humiliation. They needed a leader, one who cares. My goals are simple. To stop the warring in Whitestone, and to rescue it from the brink of extinction. And you can help me. What do you say? Partners? I like you. You're not a fool. Want to know what you're getting into? Well, I think big, but I'm smart enough to start small. I need a person who can do both. I want you to acquire something for me. Something that rightfully belongs to me. There's a man named Adolf Scoria, patriarch of the most prominent mining family in Apotir. Months ago, I bought his family mine. It wasn't cheap. Now Adolf refuses to surrender the property. In fact, he's gone into hiding and won't meet with me. I need you to acquire what is legally mine. The deed to his claim. Modus Mining stored all the records in its old headquarters east of the village. But the building has long since been overrun. Get that deed, and we're in business. An obstacle in the way of progress. The old man still believes that Apotir could come back from its decline by force of will. Typical of a miner. Keeps digging away. My given name is Eswin Elfhelm, but people around here call me Mayor Eswin. They're simple people. That's why I like them. I grew up in the old main city of Myria, west of here. I'd never worked a full day in my life. I'm certainly making up for it now. I sleep 1-2 hours a night. There are 4 mining families. The Darkvari, the Cynrics, Zungars, and the Scorias. When the gnomes departed, so did the jobs. There was nothing for the miners left behind. Starvation, desperation, well, they change people. Most of the miners in Apotir kept their sanity, even when they lost everything else. But the others, they turned to banditry. The usual: theft, kidnapping, murder. You'd best stick close to Whitestone. You're an easy target. The Cynric boys think this is a game. They're laughing now, but we'll see how they like the taste of their own ruthlessness. They're the second oldest family in Apotyre, and they're headed for a prison, or the graveyard. The Darkvari were hit hardest by Modus's relocation. The young men and women watched the elders and children waste away. Now they're all that's left. Sad story, isn't it? Doesn't excuse their lawlessness. It would take quite a bit to convince me the Zungars weren't criminals from the start. It's probably no surprise the worst miners of Apotyre make the best brigands. Liars, thieves, and scum. Let's hope they never take control of Apotyre. Once the Terrenium ran out, they moved on. Gnomes don't care for the welfare of other races. They're hoping we'll kill each other off, save them the trouble. Terrenium. It's the only reason the gnomes ever graced it here with their presence. Normally they'd find the climate too dry. They like their beards curly. Modus Mining settled Whitestone, built all the mines and relocated the families. Once they'd taken what they came for, they vanished almost overnight. Disgraceful. This little town was the heart of the boom, the engine that drove the rise of Odessa. But in business, every boom is followed by the eventual bust. The gnomes moved out. With the gnomes went the gold, and with the gold went the jobs. Whitestone has been a shell of itself since. But I seek to change all that. My home. A lifetime ago, it seems. The port was nice. The smell of fish near the harbor was offensive. You'd have a hard time finding anything that resembles Myria here in Detir. Probably in that relic of a building that was once Motus headquarters. Now a haven for thugs and criminals, near the cemetery to the east.
Good day. You're probably wondering what I'm doing here. Well, if you're fond of a good story, lend me your ear. I won't disappoint. I'll try to keep it short, even though I've got all the time in the world for embellishment. What did I do? Nothing. I just happened to bear the name Darkvari, a crime in Apotyre in these trying times. The mayor's blade seized me at the gates of Odessa. Here's the trick of it. I was leaving home, slipping free of my familial bondage. I'm no thug. I am guilty of but one crime only: stealing a girl's heart. Her name is Hrindi Zungar, and at this very moment she waits for me with no word of my whereabouts. Please, stranger, will you help me? She is the sun that comes to warm me every morning. We met a short time ago, mere weeks, but true love has no memory of time. Yes, Zungars and Darkvari aren't exactly kin. In fact, they're sworn enemies and rivals. Imagine how powerful they'd be if they shared blood instead of spilled it. I knew I liked you. From the moment I laid eyes on you through these enormous iron bars. Getting the key won't be easy. Bjorn, the head of their mercenaries, carries it on his person. I wouldn't want to be the one who has to rifle through his pockets. I am no one of consequence, something the guards in Whitestone failed to realize. However, if you ask my father, he'd take my side. I'm a complete disappointment. I've promised to rescue Hrindi from her family's life of corruption. She deserves more than a shack along the snake tail. She deserves Sky Blossom, Whispers. I've been in this cage for weeks, but Hrindi will wait. We swore an oath to each other. I care not for stale poison. I doubt the Zungars and Darkvari even know why they're angry. It's an old hatred, old as the red stone. Hrindi and I want none of it. They're not as bad as some think, but worse than you'd imagine. I have the scars to prove it, unfortunately. Cynrics, Darkvari, Zungars, and Scorias, all bastards. Not half as bad as these guards. They can't catch all of us, and we can't kill all of them. Look, I'm in a cage in the middle of this town. What do you want me to say? I'm not really in a good position to talk about it right now. Bjorn's men are ridiculously loyal. Try to catch him alone, out of the friendly eye. If you don't, our little agreement will end up rather short-lived.
You there. You look like you could use some coin. That didn't sound quite right. Let me try again. Are you interested in some work? If so, the mayor of Whitestone is hiring. The work is bloody, but what work isn't nowadays? Go check the bone wall. There's something there for everyone. The bone wall is where we post bounties and contracts. I'm sure you can guess how it got its name. Not a weakling in the bunch. Every one of them with a thirst for combat. They'd kill you for a single coin. In a way, it's almost impressive. The Zungars are the worst, but the Darkvari and Cynrics aren't much better. Don't worry about the Scorias. They're everywhere, but harmless, like roaches. The Darkvari are a miserable lot, but don't let the rags and rusty daggers fool you. What they lack in skill, they make up for in brute force. The Cynrics are handsome boys, despite their ways. They always give me a smile from afar, too scared to get close. You'll have to talk to Mayor Eswin about the Scorias. He asked us to focus on the other families first. The Zungars killed the first group of mercenaries that Eswin hired. Raided Whitestone the very next day. We've held them off for a while now, but they're tough, even for Warsworn. Ah, so you've been talking to Bjorn, have you? I'm not that interested in the Warsworn stories. I much prefer the pay. I don't know much about it. Mayor Eswin brought me and Bjorn down first, out of Ironfast Keep. The pay is weak, but so is the enemy. If I were you, I'd stay in town, avoid the wastes. The desert is crawling with kobolds, and just about every human you find out there is going to want a piece of you. So long. Over here.
Mind yourself.